Hello and welcome to the final day here at Crankworx Rotorua. And with all the action that we've seen here this week, the battle is officially on for the King and Queen of Crankworx and the Series Championships. Today marks the final event with points up for grabs before contenders head out on the rest of the Crankworx World Tour. That's right, it is the Crankworx Rotorua Air DH, and all the racing starts right now.
This is what it's all about. Stop number one on your Crankworx World Tour. Here we are, the place to be here, Rotorua, New Zealand. Here we go.
Several dimensions are shaping victories.
He left it! Style history.
The best mountain bike riders here.
Check the time here. Can he keep it up? He entered the final highway flow. Just barely too short.
One queen and one king will claim the title of best all-around mountain biker on the planet.
And a very big hello to all of you watching us here, because this is the only place you want to be checking things out. Brad J here, and we're talking about your Crankworx Air DH coming your way. Your final day of broadcasting. Brad J up in the booth, joined by the legend of downhill, Andrew Needling. Needles, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. We've had such a good week. I'm amazed at the turnout. It's just been so good to be up here in the booth.
Now, tell me a little bit about, for you, the changes, because last year you were out here racing. This year you switched things up. You're on the mic. It's a little safer on the mic for you, man?
It's definitely a little safer. I'm just as nervous, though. It's kind of like pre-race jitters, like I said before we did the pump track. But with all the weather that came in, I'm glad I was up here in the booth.
I'm glad you bring up the weather part of things, because we did have a little change in the scheduling because of the weather. Inclement weather was coming in. When we first came in here, it was raining, and the rain had come down and kind of made things soggy. Well, things dried up a little bit. We had to adjust the schedule. We had to run with your Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox. That was starting things off, and then we went into it. Now, today was supposed to be your DH presented by IXS today for the broadcast, but because of the weather, we had to switch things up. So today it's going to be your Air DH today, and yesterday, of course, was our downhill presented by IXS. Well, you're probably wondering, where are we at? Well, let me show you where we're at. See this big globe thing right here, Needles? You see those two islands right there, Needles?
I do.
I think I see you right there. There we are.
There I am.
Right here. Rotorua, the place to be here in New Zealand. Two great riding zones. I'm telling you what, Skyline Mountain Bike Gravity Park, this place is unbelievable. Not only this, the Redwood Forest, 130 kilometers of mountain bike riding, brown gold for everyone. And they say, like, you could ride a different trail for like 2 months straight and still not be on the same trail that you were on earlier. Is that
Definitely.
true?
Those Redwood Forests are amazing. I haven't had the privy to get out there this year, but I have in the previous years. It's amazing out there.
And what do you think? Why is there such a good vibe out here in Rotorua? Is it because all the riding zones, do you think?
Most definitely. There's amazing riding out here, and there's a really good mountain bike community.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, now you and I are talking a little bit about downhill. Do you want to start getting into downhill?
I think we got to take a look back at last year.
Oh, good point. Let's take a look at last year and talk about last year's downhill.
Well, if you rewind the clock to last year, 360 days, Crankworx DH presented by IXS here in Rotorua. First stop on the World Tour, Jill Kittner, kind of a surprise in the downhill, but not really in her eyes. She knows she has the skills to get her done.
She came out swinging. She's an amazing all-round bike handler. She set her sights on the Queen of Crankworx, so she knew she had to do some downhill in the off-season, and man, did it pay off here last year.
And what's great about this is the fact that she became the Queen of Crankworx, and this is the first stop, so you see how she set her season up to become that queen. So Jill Kittner right there. This is the road to the queen. Take a look, man. Rotorua, first place out there. She proved that one. Leger, a fifth place, top five. Very respectable there. Whistler Fox, Air D8. She took the #1 spot on that, Needles. But now there's other ladies that are challenging her as well, and you got to talk about Casey Brown. Why not? Because she's always out there and she's always putting up results.
Super all-round rider. She's amazing skill on all bikes. She's doing a lot of EWS, a lot of Crankworx events, and she's for sure a contender in our downhill this year.
Well, let's talk about Australia's very own Tracy Hanna. What about her, man? She knows how to make things happen.
Well, runner-up the last 2 years, so we know she's motivated to try to take the win this year.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that's just how things are shaping up last year and how it looked out there. But, you know, it came right down to it. A good year, and this is being our 3rd year out here. Just amazing to always come back here to Rotorua.
Definitely. I can't wait to see today's action. Like you said, there's a bit of a schedule change, but it's kind of, we're going to make some lemonade from lemon like we did in the whip-off. It's really going to be good. I think we need to take a look back at these women.
Oh, let's take a look here.
Well, your Crankworx DH presented by IXS yesterday. Quite the day. Conditions pretty good after things dried up a little bit. Jill Kittner trying to give a run, defend that queen title, Needles.
Definitely. She got maybe a little less practice than she wanted. I was out there walking the track. It is super challenging here. As you see, coming down the larches, very rutted, very slippery, unpredictable. You've really got to play it safe down there. She came into the finish. We know she kind of was a bit disappointed. She was pumping as hard as she could coming over this finish.
And you know the time for Jill, she checked in with that one. That was a 3:51.94 for Jill Kittner. Could that be enough to kind of hold up the ladies back and defend that queen title? Well, there were some other girls just chomping at the bit, ready to take to this course. And that one right there, that's one of them, Casey Brown. What do you say about her?
An amazing all-round talent on a bike. Bit of an interesting attire for a downhill race, but she's doing all sorts of riding. She's down through the larches. Like we said, super rutted. You've got to be super safe down there. You can really throw your race around. She's carrying really good speed here in the wet conditions. Oh, she does the step up, holding really good pace here, Brad.
Well, I kind of like the kid. I like her rolling with the flannel. I think that's a nice little touch right there. And you see that she crossed the line for Casey Brown, checked in with a 3:45.81, and that was good enough to take the #1 spot at that point, Needles. But she wasn't the last one to go because, of course, you have Swiss rider Emily Seigenthaler ready to do battle.
Very strong rider out of Switzerland, riding for Pivot Factory Racing. She's been doing a lot of off-season training in Queenstown here in New Zealand, riding with Bernard Kerr. I was riding with her in Queenstown and really impressed with the speed she's got. Takes a bit of a different line there around the larches, but like I said, you got to play it safe because if you fall off there, your race is done. So she's holding pretty good speed. Very strong rider in the mud, obviously being from Europe.
Well, we also talk about the conditions because it was wet, and that's why it's rutted out because things dried up, but the ruts were already there. But Emily Seigenthaler, when she crossed, her time was a 3:38.3 run. So what that did for her is that put her on the top, and that bumped Casey Brown down into that 2nd spot. But it's not over because there's still one more to go, Needles, and that's Tracy Hanna, man.
It was all to play for, wasn't it? We had the final woman down the hill. She'd been here 2nd the last 2 years.
And you saw the girls congratulating them, but they know that this could be over very quick, and Tracy Hanna can dispel those dreams short.
She was out the gate. She's been doing a lot of off-season training, also doing a bit of prep in Queenstown, New Zealand, getting time on the downhill bike with the lift access there. She comes down the larches. You see, she holds a very tight line. That's the men's line as well. Very difficult to get clean, which she does. So she was pushing all the way to the finish. Like I said, she's got some serious motivation. She's got the world champs in her hometown later this year. So she uses all these Crankworx events as kind of preparation to see where her speed's at. And man, did she have some speed today.
Well, you bring up the word speed, and I like the fact that you brought that up because you saw Emily Seigenthaler with a 3:38.31, but when Tracy Hanna came across, she posted up a 3:32.12 and took the #1 spot and took the win as well.
It's so hectic all weekend, like it's raining, then it's dry, then it's dewy, and the track is pretty hard, but I'm so stoked because I've never won in Rotorua, and I always wanted to, but I always just didn't quite get there, so I'm over the moon.
Talk to me about your run. I mean, you're saying the track's difficult. Did it go flawless, or did you have a few moments up there?
No, I had a really good run. I knew that you had to pull it back. You couldn't do 110% on this track. You had to do 97. And I had a few close calls, but nothing bad. I knew that if I got through everything smooth with my feet on, I'll be in with a chance, and yeah, I'm super excited.
I'll tell you what a great story. You like what she's all about. She's talking about the fact that she's from Australia and it's not too far away, but she'd never won out here. Pretty cool to get a big win in Rotorua.
She clearly made it one of her goals for the year. It's amazing to see her take that Crankworx win. She comes to all the stops, so she's kind of ahead of the game there in the series for the downhill.
Well, we're talking about now because that was then, but this is now. And Caroline Buchanan, there's a name that you see right there. And I really wanted to touch a little bit here on Caroline Buchanan because I'll tell you what, she is all about about trying to come away with that queen title, and she got a good start on it with the pump track challenge presented by Rock Shock. She was on point, Needles.
She couldn't have asked for a better start to go for that title. She came out swinging against Jill Kittner, the reigning champ of the pump track. She rode 2 amazing laps to take the win over Jill. Obviously, Jill was pushing it to the end, but she came out on top, and now she's got those points for the Queen of Crankworx.
You know, and I call that basically, that's a legit 100% win. It's not Caroline Buchanan beating someone else. That's Caroline Buchanan beating Jill Kittner, and Jill Kittner has absolutely crushed it when it comes to pump track. So if you're gonna win pump track and have a shot at becoming the Queen of Crankworx like she wants to do, you got to go through the best, and going through the best is going through Jill Kittner. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, definitely. Like we said, she's got some points in the bag, but she's been working the off-season on her skill, and we're going to see her in this Air DH.
Well, we'll find out more about it because they are getting ready to go, and we can find more about what's going on with the competition because it's time to check in downstairs. Third member of our team, it's Hannah Bernard. Hannah?
Hey, thank you very much, Brad. Yeah, I'm just here at the finish corral getting ready for the Air DH. We got some of our pro women about to come down. But what I want to talk about is the Queen of Crankworx race. You mentioned Caroline Buchanan. So right now in the standings, we actually have a 3-way tie between Chasey Hanna, Caroline Buchanan, and Cecile Ravenel. Caroline Buchanan is the only woman that we are going to see in this race here today, so she could take a resounding lead in that Queen of Crankworx lead. And then, of course, we have Jill Kittner just out in 4th place, so never count her out. She is our former Queen of Crankworx. And then let's talk about the men. Today, we have Adrien Laurent sitting in that top spot for the King of Crankworx race. He is racing here today. He is so hungry for the King of Crankworx title. He's been so close the last 2 years. He got second in pump track earlier this week. He got second in dual speed and style this week. So never count out Adrien Laurent. Let's see if he can rack up some points today towards that King of Crankworx title.
Oh, thank you so much right there, Hannah, breaking it down for you. And I'll tell you what, Adrien Laurent, the great thing about Adrien Laurent is when you talk to that guy, he doesn't want a 2nd place. He doesn't want a 3rd place. He doesn't want to win a series title without winning an event. He wants to win it all, doesn't he?
And he's been working in the off-season. I've seen him at the street races. He's really wanting to give this downhill a go. I think it's new motivation for him. Obviously, he enjoys pump track and the dual speed and style, but he wants to kind of broaden his riding.
Well, and that's how you do it. You have to compete in everything. If you want a shot at becoming the King of Crankworx, you've got to do as many events as possible, and that's what Adrien Laurent is trying to do. He's trying to enter as much as he can. And what do you think about Air DH for him? He's got a good chance of doing good here. This is a good style race for him, right?
It is. This course probably suits him. It suits some of these pump track guys. We're going to see different bikes, different sort of riding styles, but they're all going for the fastest time here today.
I mean, you were talking about it. We're looking at the list. We're looking at all the names in there. Basically, you look at it, anyone could kind of, in the top 25 guys, it seems like anyone could come out and win this thing today.
We've got a great field, and they're from really different kind of riding backgrounds, so we're going to have a great race in our hands. I can't predict the winner right now.
And nor will we even try to do that. Well, I'll tell you what, it is all coming up, the racing. The ladies will be showing up and showing you what they can do. Your Crankworx Air DH, final day of the broadcast right here, live from Rotorua.
Our people have been showing visitors around this place for generations. Today we can show you things our tipuna would never have dreamed of. It's not all hard out. Take it slow if you like. Visit online first to see what you haven't seen in Rotorua.
big welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us out here, the place that you want to be here. And welcome back, everybody, joining us here. Crankworx Rotorua here, your Air DH coming your way. Brad J up at the booth, Needles, Andrew Needling, and the final day of racing coming your way. I'll tell you what, man, it's sad to see it come to an end. It seems like we were just here a few days ago getting this thing going, and now it's coming to an end, man. I'm
not ready to go home, I'll tell you that much. It's been an amazing trip.
Well, here's the ones we're going to see for the ladies here. We're going to join this with the 5 top ladies here coming up. Verbeek is going to be the one to be coming down first. We'll see then Casey Brown up to her. Emily Seigenthaler coming in after that, Caroline Buchanan, and Jill Kittner. So we'll take all of our attention up top here. Vi Verbeek, here we go from Canada. She is our racer coming down out of North Vancouver, doing it for Rocky Mountain.
And she took a 4th place yesterday in the downhill, so we know she's got speed on the downhill. A little bit of a different track. They kind of mimicked it off the Air DH in Whistler. It's become so famous, so it's nice to see these tracks kind of spreading around the world. It's all about getting your pump in, staying low. Kind of maximizing your speed on the down slopes. There's a lot of pedaling. It's still physical, but it's a super fun track to ride. Let's pick up some action here. She's raiding those berms. Like we said, she's going to stay as low as she can, conserve energy. Where is she going to pump? Where is she going to pedal?
Well, and the time she's looking to beat is that 2:26.01 is what Katie Curd has as the top time for the ladies right now. So that's what Via has to beat. She's got to beat that 2:26. You can see the time from Katie Curd right there.
Yeah, she's just coming on that wooden wall ride. You obviously don't want to lose grip there. She's going to push hard to the finish line. Although it's only 2 minutes, it's really, really physical with all the pumping and the pedaling, this type of track. She's going to pop out the trees here. Look at the time. We've got about 6 seconds. She's looking like she's going to do it. Come out the step down, Brad.
Here we go. Vi Verbeek crossing. Look at this, a 2:22.88.
Oh, no.
And she goes down at the end. She does have the fastest time right now.
She gave us the thumbs up or the peace. She's obviously a bit injured, but she's okay. She gave the kind of hand like, I'm a bit banged up, but I'm okay. Oh, we don't want to see that, do we?
So she is up right now. Let's take another look and see what happened out there. She does have the fastest time at 2:22.88.
Oh, we're off with Casey Brown.
Yeah, Brown is now on course right now. If she makes her way down, now she knows she needs to beat that 2:28.88. That's the time to beat for Trek Factory Racing Casey Brown.
She's had some great results here in the past. We're waiting for her to come into shot. One of the most all-round ladies riders we have out here. She competes in the whip-off. She does the EWS Enduro, the Giant Tower Enduro. She's landed on the Trek Factory Racing ride last year. It's really nice to see her get that support. She's going to come to all the Crankworxes, so it's just great. We're going to look at a split here. She's holding good pace. She's looking for a 1:22.05. She seems to be a bit off, but we're going to wait for it to come. Yeah, 3 seconds back.
Yeah.
There's nothing she can't pull back, Brad.
So she could come back on that one. 3rd place yesterday, remember, in the Crankworx DH presented by IXS. Casey took 3rd, so a podium spot for her gives her some good points to start the season out.
Yeah, she decided not to bring her flannel to the party today. It's probably a little bit warmer up there. She kind of wants to. It's a little bit of air drag, the flannel, I think, in these woods.
Well, I was really digging the whole flannel steez that she was rolling with yesterday. I kind of like that, man. So you got to keep it low over those tabletops, right? Because you want to keep that speed going, right, Needles?
Yeah, it's not all about style today, unfortunately. That was, oh, no.
Oh, no.
The dirt is so slick out there. Obviously, Brad, we've had the rain. It's falling on hard-packed dirt. We like to call it like a blue grooves it, and it's just so slippery if you push. You've really got to be careful. And we saw, obviously, it's unfortunate to see her push the front there.
Oh, wow.
She was just so committed, but her race will be done after that.
No, there's no way to come back from that one right there. We're just glad she's okay. Casey Brown going down on that one, so she's not going to be able to challenge the 2:22.88. As you can see, she's well past that time right now, Needles.
I was chatting to some riders, and like they said, it is super slick out there. The berms look good, but at any minute you can just lose the front, and that's exactly what happened to her. So she's coming out the woods with a step down. She'll be a bit disappointed in that for sure.
Yeah, I like what you refer to when you refer to the blue groove. The blue groove, actually, you see it get a little bit faster up there and then a little bit slick. Let's take a look and see if we can look at both those crashes we've seen. Not a good way to start with these ladies here, seeing Via Verbeek crash and then this seeing Casey Brown crash.
So Via's just come out the woods so committed, but she's just not hit the brakes in time. There's a bit of a turn on the gravel there. Just shows you how committed she was. Casey as well, she's looking ahead, she's looking at that jump, and out of nowhere, that front wheel pushes.
Wow, it looks like we just kind of had that front tire wash on that one. That's going to cost her on that, so she's not going to be able to challenge that top time. Now it's still 2:28.88 to beat 2:02. There you go. That's plate number 202. Emily Seigenthaler.
She had a great result yesterday, taking second place.
Nice.
So off-season prep is clearly paying off. on the Pivot Factory Racing team, run by Bernard Kerr. We're going to see her come into shot here. Like we said, there's so much can go wrong here, even though it's technically a kind of a simple track. It's kind of BMX bermed, it's got rollers, it's got jumps. There's no rock, you know, there's no roots, but anything can happen when you're pushing.
Well, let's see what Emily Seigenthaler could do here. Like you said, second place yesterday in the Crankworx DH. So can she put up a good time out here today? She's trying to beat the 2:22.88.
Yeah, you can see, so these riders are going to pick between pedaling or pumping or tucking, you know. It's a really fine line. When you're going super fast, you actually don't even always need to pedal. It's better to sometimes tuck. You want to keep it low. You want to pump the backsides of those downslopes.
You just got to try and almost manufacture speed in every spot that you can, right, Needles?
Yeah, it's the mix between a pump track, a BMX track, and a downhill, this Air DH. So it's a super fun race to do. She's looking good. We're going to hopefully bring her back to a split time here.
And we'll see how she does out here. Emily Seigenthaler, second place yesterday, Crankworx DH. And what could she do today? Well, she's trying to beat the 2:22.88.
She's mussing on those handlebars, trying to get every little bit of power out of the bike. She's really been clearing the jumps very well, hitting those down slopes, pedaling as soon as she can. So you can see she's putting a lot of effort in here.
She's doing what she can to put up that fast time. That's what you're trying to do out here. Conditions ongoing. Things have been changing. How important is tire choice out here today?
It's paramount importance. Bike selection as well. These ladies are on trail bikes from what I've seen, but I'm hearing some of the men might have some surprises for us. So we're going to wait to see the timing. But in a normal situation, a bit drier, you're going to want sort of a semi-slick on the back for rolling. There's not a lot of corner knob that you need. It's all about rolling resistance or decreasing that rolling resistance.
It'll be interesting to see what that time is. We don't have that available. As soon as we do, we'll break that out for you. But 2:22.88 is still by Verbeeks. That's the one that we're holding on to right now. That seems to be the fastest as the rest of the ladies are coming down. Now we're going to get a chance to see Caroline Buchanan. We've talked about her. She has compared Crankworx. She loves doing Crankworx more than she loves doing the Olympics, and she wants to do good, and she wants to go for the queen. That's why she's competing in all 4 stops this year.
She set some new goals. She's wanting to get new motivation, get some excitement out of her riding, and we're going to drop it down to Hannah.
Yeah, I think we have Hannah downstairs right now. Hannah, are you with us down there?
Yeah, guys, I got a chance to catch up with Casey Brown. Obviously, we saw her take a bit of a spill there. She was talking to me just now and telling me just about what happened. She was going around one of those corners and she thought she had a bit more give, but the berm was not there and she just slipped out a little bit, causing that crash. So unfortunate for her, as she was 3rd on the podium yesterday in the DH presented by IXS, but we'll have to see as the other ladies come down how they go through that.
Well, here's a look at Caroline Buchanan now. She's ready to do her thing in here, making that charge for the Queen of Crankworx. And with a first place Pump Track Challenge win for Caroline Buchanan, that's a good way to start, Needles.
And this race is going to play right into her skill set. After Olympics, she said she's gone back to the drawing board. She started working on some skill just to kind of get the enjoyment back in riding. Obviously, going to Olympics can be super tough on you mentally. And now she's working on a downhill. I mean, this is basically a glorified long BMX track, so she should really have some good pace here.
I like how she gives Crankworx more importance than the Olympics. That, to me, is an amazing thing. It just shows you how special Crankworx competition is.
Yeah, she'll be hard on the pedals. You know, she's got some amazing power from that BMX background. She knows how to stay low. She knows how to generate speed from every little bump on this course. And that's what we see. I can see she's carrying really good speed. She's going to pop out the woods here soon, and she's going to give some power to the finish.
Well, she's trying to beat the 2:22.88 by Verbeek with that time as we're waiting for her to come into view here. There's a look at her right now. Airing it down. Here we go. Crossing the line. What's going to be the top for her? 2:23.43. And she goes down at the end. Second place with that time, but she crashes. Wow, that was a tough one. We did get the time in for Seigenthaler. She has the new time to beat, which is the 2:18.86. So she will have the time that everyone is going to be looking to gun to, and that's going to be Jill Kittner, the remaining competitor to go. But wow, 3 ladies going down, Needles.
Yeah, it's obviously, like we said, full commitment. They're coming out of the woods really fast. There's a slight turn there on the gravel. Even though it's after the track, these ladies aren't going to touch their brakes. So it's not nice to see, but she is okay, and it was after the time.
2:18.86 time to beat Seigenthaler number 1, Verbeek number 2. Buchanan right there crossing, and she is in that 3rd spot. Maybe we could take a look at her run right now and see some of the highlights. But that was definitely a low light at the end there.
Yeah, she's carrying really good pace out of these berms. I was a bit surprised to see her so far back on Emily. Emily's putting a great run together. You can see her pumping, you can see her. She's staying very low as far as she can, and then she wants to get just on the top of those downslopes to generate. There we go, and we can't wait to see the next rider down.
Well, Buchanan will remain in third place with her time of 2:23.43 after that run. By Verbeek in number 2 spot, 2:22.88. And then you got Emily Seigenthaler, so far the fastest time of the day. And she's holding down a 2:18.86. One more to go, and that's Jill Kittner, Needles.
Jill Kittner, last year's queen of Crankworx, obviously wants to maximize her points in all these disciplines. She has been unstoppable at the ADH in Whistler. Can she bring it here to Rotorua?
Well, she is the defending queen of Crankworx, and she also won the downhill title, the Pump Track Series champ as well last year.
There's a bit different technique there. That comes from the BMX. She's kind of manualing on the middle of the tabletop so she can get that front wheel down as early as possible.
Ah, good point. Way to bring that up.
And you want to set up as high as you can in these berms to maximize your kind of momentum that you carry out of them. You don't want to sort of sharpen them too much.
Don't want to case those landings. Want to land on those transitions. Stay low. Land on the transitions. Keep that speed going.
For sure. And any little bit that you can pedal, you need to just be pedaling. Pump, pedal, suck it all up.
Well, 2:07 and counting. 2:18.86. That's what she's trying to beat right now. Jill Kittner, a second place out there in Pump Track. Lost to Buchanan on that one, so she's trying to see what she can do here, and it's not going to be able to challenge the time. Emily Seigenthaler is so fast, but here goes Jill Kittner. She'll cross 2:22.97. That'll be third place. Caroline Buchanan now will be bumped down to fourth. So Emily Seigenthaler will take the win with a 2:18.86 in your Crankworx Air DH here today. So big congratulations to her with that win. By Verbeek, very solid stuff, 2:22.88 in that second spot. And Jill Kittner will have to settle for third out here today.
That's a really good run by Emily. I think she's going to be super, super happy with that. Like her off-season prep is going well. She's taken down two of the biggest names, I would say, in this type of format of racing. Obviously, she comes from a downhill background, Jill and Caroline BMX, so it's great to see those two different disciplines come onto one course here at Crankworx.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, Seigenthaler, so now she takes the win, right? She takes the win in your Air DH today, but she also takes second place yesterday, so that when you get two podiums, that's going to help you at the Queen of Crankworx when you're trying to make that charge as well. Let's check in with Hannah, standing by with our winner. Take it away, Hannah.
Thanks very much, guys. Well, I'm standing here with our gold medalist for the women's here at the Crankworx Rotorua Air DH. Emily, you were just telling me you're not very good at Air DH, and you're really sore from this really hectic week here, but you're coming away with the gold. Tell me what you had to do to prepare for this race.
Well, I can't believe it. Like, it was a really hard week, and normally I'm not really that good at these events, like at least Whistler. And I don't know, I think the winter and my injury, I lost a bit of weight and I got more power now. So I don't know what's happening, but I'll take it and try to make it like this for the next of the season.
Well, you got second in the downhill yesterday. This is your first Crankworx Gold. How does that sound?
I still can't believe it. I mean, I have so much respect for Jill and Caroline and all these girls racing and get some Olympic medal and stuff like that. So for me, it's just a really big achievement. But I guess, yeah, like I rode good and I'm really stoked with that.
Thanks, Emily. Guys, your gold medalist here for the women's at the Crankworx Rotorua Air DH, Emily Seigenthaler.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, she deserves it because she has ridden well the last 2 days, man. So she is definitely, is she on the come up, or are we just seeing her just feeling really comfortable? Look at Queen of Crankworx standings now with Emily taking that 250 points. That's a big lead. Jill Kittner's in second. She's 45 points behind. Then Caroline Buchanan, she's right there, only just 5 points behind Jill Kittner. And Via Verbeek in that fourth spot. Still Ravenel down there in fourth too as well. Tracy Hanna rounding out three-way, four-way tie right there. So taking a look at that right now, but it's going to be tough now. You're not used to Jill having to come from behind. But for more on this, let's send things downstairs. Let's check in with Hannah Bernard right now. Hannah, you got someone else with you?
All right, guys. Well, I said at the top of the show, never to count out Jill Kittner for the Queen of Crankworx race. She is our former queen from 2016. She's currently sitting in second. Jill, you've done this before. What are you going to dig deep from in order to go on into the World Tour and take that queen title once again?
I guess honestly I just have a couple of mistakes to clean up. It wasn't really, like I kind of thought that was a pretty good run and would have been enough, but yeah, I guess you never know. I'm just gonna keep going, and you know, it is what it is. However it pans out, you never can predict these things. So yeah, everyone's going fast, it's cool.
Can you put into words what it actually means to be Queen of Crankworx?
I mean, besides all the hype that you guys keep talking about, it's an honor, and I'm really grateful that I won it and had the opportunity. It's not easy, so yeah, it means a lot to me, but now on to the next one. So,
well, best of luck in the rest of the Crankworx World Tour, guys.
Well, thank you so much. And she says there's a lot of hype, that we put a lot of hype into it. And we put a lot of hype into it for a good reason. Because to be able to be Queen of Crankworx, that means you got to be absolutely consistent all season long. And that's what Jill Kittner is. She's always consistent. So there is good reason for the hype, right, Needles?
There is, and it's a long season. We've added another stop in Innsbruck, so we've got more races. You need to be kind of on top of your game for a longer season. Well, and what I like from her, it's going to add some motivation to her now when she goes home before the next stop.
Oh, you know it will add some motivation. Well, coming up next for you, the dudes. They're going to be taken to this course here for just seeing what they can do here on the last day of our broadcast action here in Rotorua, New Zealand. So the guys getting ready to go, and we're looking at that list. We're going to see 25 of the top dudes ready to drop in on this course and see what kind of times they can put up. And I'll tell you what, you look at those names right there. Look at all these names that you see here. What's going on, Needles?
It's like a big box of chocolates. We do not know what we're going to get here. To give you a little Forrest Gump line, there are so many different riders from so many different kind of avenues of mountain biking.
Oh my goodness, Forrest Gump reference. We'll be right back. The dudes taking to the course. It's your RTH coming up.
Our people have been showing visitors around this place for generations. Today we can show you things our tipuna would never have dreamed of. It's not all hard out. Take it slow if you like. Visit online first to see what you haven't seen in Rotorua.
Crankworx Rotorua, brought to you by SRAM, the power of bicycles. And also brought to you by Skyline Rotorua. Ride more at Skyline Rotorua Mountain Bike Gravity Park. And taking a look at the ladies talking it out, and boy, we saw a little bit of carnage there, didn't we, Needles, there towards the end?
We did, and it was after the finish line.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, now the guys, the top 25 guys that we're going to be seeing are coming up to you. Let's take a look here. You got some the crash footage here. Watch this. Just wadded right there in the corner. And then we see with Casey Brown.
Yeah, just pushing so hard in that turn and losing the front end. It's not nice to see these crashes. We're glad the women are all right. Luckily for their timing, it was after the finish line.
Boy, that's a tough one right there at the end. But you made a good point, Needles, when you talk about it. You said they're pinning it all the way at the end there, so they're not going to be on their brakes at all, so they can get that fast time. You can't set up for that. So tough break having that little situation there at the end.
And when you're practicing, you're not coming through that finish line as fast. So in a race run, it's head down, it's through the finish, and then it's okay. Oh dear. Well, now I've got a fence in my way.
Well. Top 25 men are coming up, and I think we could take a look at yesterday when, of course, our D8s that we did presented by IXS. And who do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about George Brannigan. Second place here last year, fourth the year before. We know he wants to get that win.
Well, people are hyped on George Brannigan, and he's hyped on this course because, like you said, he ended up on the podium last year. Could he do it again this year?
Yeah, he's had a bit of time off the bike, but he's back on it, and he's a super aggressive rider, even in these kind of moist, wet conditions.
Well, you know what? When it came across the line, his time, 3:07.85, did not what he expected to happen, but George Brannigan trying to do his best with a crash and coming back from being sick.
I mean, before I got the sickness, I really wanted to win it. I've been like pretty close the first year, then last year was second, and wanted to win this year, but it was hard to have high expectations after being sick. But I was like, I hope to get top 5, and I think I would have been top 5 if I didn't crash. And yeah, so I'm happy with that. I just know that my fitness needs to come back, and riding's pretty good. So.
I'll tell you what, I mean, you talk about that being sick right there, having a crash. I mean, it's such a bummer because that's not the way you want to start it out. You know, Brannigan was a favorite to get up on that podium, so it was tough for him to have that situation to go wrong like that and be coming back from being sick and have a crash. But you know what? You got to like George Brannigan. He'll come back, and we'll expect some big things out of him when we get back out here next year and for the remainder of our Crankworx stop for sure. Well, we've taken a look at that. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from your Crankworx Downhill presented by IXS and kind of show you how things kind of played out yesterday.
We're taking a look back at the Crankworx Rotorua Downhill, presented by IXS. A man that's had big success here, taking second the first year we were out here in 2015. On a new team, Giant Factory Off-Road, getting some really good support. Keeping it smooth through those man-made rock garden, pretty slick. He had a bubble just before that, but he seemed to still manage to hold some speed.
Oh boy, did he ever, and he held that together. He's had success first year here, got second place, and it was said and done out here. Elliott Jackson checked in with a 2:58.40. That was good enough for the hot seat for Elliott Jackson, but that's not over because we had other guys coming up, and we're talking about Jack Moyer.
Jack Moyer. Young guy's had some injury in the past, but he's really successful at these Crankworx events when he shows up.
Well, Jack Moore, he's no stranger to putting up a fast time, and right there, that was a pretty darn fast time. That took over the top spot, 2:55.63. So that bumped Elliott Jackson down, but then it was time for a man that I like to announce his race, and I'm talking about Sick Mick Hanna from Down Under. Mick looking really good right here today.
He really is. I've caught up with him. He's had a really good off-season. He's strong and fit and healthy, and more important, he's got his eyes set on the Cairns World Champs at the end of the year, but he uses all these Crankworx events to prepare for them, and he loves racing out here. Keeping it low on that little hip jump. And we got another little long and low. He carries so much speed. Oh, suicide for the fans.
That was one of my favorite parts about Sick Mick Hanna. He is on point. He checks in his time, 2:58.06. Not going to take Jack out, but he's going to get in that second spot with that time, Needles.
2 men left. We got Loic Bruni. He's 1 year, 2 years running. He's looking for the three-peat. He's got some new suspension on the bike and new brakes. I know they've been doing a lot of testing in Queenstown, trying to get him as comfortable as he can be. I'm hearing he really likes it. He's pushing hard here hard on the pedals here, through the long and low. We're going to pick him up here then. Oh, that's a new line. Something must have happened here. He's not taking that step up. Oh my goodness.
You can tell right there, trouble for Loic Bruni, and ends up with a 3:04.17, 15th place. But how about Troy Brosnan? One guy to go. They say dynamite comes in small packages, and this guy can deliver. Look at that gold. Look at that other gold. Those are the Canadian Open DH. But Troy Brosnan, could he upset the bounce? Could he knock Jack off that #1 spot? Well, he was going to give it his best, Needles.
Troy Bronson on a new team, new bike. He's left Specialized. He's on Canyon Factory Racing, going against kind of Loic Bruni here. Oh, speed tuck, long and low with a bit of a whip out. We pick it up here. He's hard on the pedals, crossing in there. We've got a little bit of track left. What can he do? Low again.
You got to think it right here, Troy Brosnan. Something just doesn't look right the way he was running that one. And when he checked in the time, 3 minutes even and some change. 6th place for him when your top 3 ended up. Elliott Jackson grabbing that 3rd spot. Sick Mick Hanna getting on the number 2 spot. And Jack Moore, Shark Attack Jack, taking the big win out here.
Yeah, pretty stoked with that. It's hard to know how fast you're riding coming into like the first race of the season because, I mean, you're just riding at home by yourself, so it's good to see my training's paid off. And I made a little mistake in the middle. I'm sure everyone did though, because the conditions are real greasy and pretty tricky. So, I mean, I think you can always have a better run, but I had a pretty good run, so I was happy with that.
Yeah, you gotta like that. Shark Attack Jack getting that big win for him, and it wasn't just a slouch win. He really earned and deserved that victory for sure.
Big win. He was a series champion last year at Crankworx, so look for big things out of him. We go across over to Jerome Clements. It's so good to see him out here at the ADH. Obviously, he focused on EWS here at the Crankworx, but now he's going to throw his name in the hat here for the ADH.
That's crazy because so many different names that you see in EWS and you see in downhill racing, and then you see different names like guys like Barry Nobles are competing in this thing, and then you got guys like Jerome Clements on there, and then you got Richie Rude out there. I mean, this is an amazing setup just to see all these guys combine and actually racing each other. All right, before we get to the Air DH, it's 100% world-class riding when it comes down to out here, and there's so many different trails. Let's talk about another trail out here in Needles. It's the Fuzz, man.
What a trail. And if you look closely, you're going to see that it resembles the downhill that they use for the IXS.
Oh, yeah, you're right, man. Exactly. The Fuzz is part of our DH trail, so that's one of those things where you can go out and ride a portion of that trail that you see everybody competing on. That's pretty cool, man.
I think that's so cool for the viewer at home or the guy that lives nearby or whoever comes and visits here. He can go up, take the lift, and go on the same track that all the Crankworx competitors get to compete on.
Yeah, instead of talking some trash, why don't you go do it? Get out there, and that's what he needs to do. You come out here, you run the trail, see how you do against the pros, right?
Yeah, so if you log into Trail Forks, you can look up Fuzz, aka Crankworx DH. It's one of the longer trails here with over 2 kilometers, so you get a lot of bang for your buck. So I think you should get out there and ride.
Definitely get out there and ride. If you don't have Trail Forks on your app, I don't know what you're waiting for, because it is one of the most amazing apps out there to find trails. Wherever you're at in the world, Trail Forks has you covered with all the trails. So let's take a look at things right here in beautiful Rotorua, New Zealand. There's a look at it right there, the start list, the guys that we're going to be seeing first. And we're going to start with our top 25, so Jerome Clements is going to start things off.
Yeah, no better guy to start us off.
Yeah,
we're going to get down there. We're going to see the old legend Cedric Garcia's in there. Richie Rude, I can't wait to see what time he can put down if he really puts his focus into this race.
Well, then I was really psyched on seeing Josh Bryceland competing in this one. Adrian Larone, Mitch Ropolato in there. Bas van Steenbergen. Steesberger going to represent, and Bernard Kerr too as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's our reigning champ at the ADH in Whistler. Came out with a breakout result, so that was good to see. Can he back it up here in Rotorua?
Well, he's going to have an opportunity to back it up and see what he can do. It's time to check in with Hannah Bernard. She's down there. She sees what's going on. What's happening, Hannah?
Hey, thanks, guys. Well, a guy that we want to keep our eye on today, Barry Nobles. We've seen him all week here at Crankworx Rotorua. He's come out and openly said that he is going for that King of Crankworx title. We saw him at Pump Track walk away with the bronze. We saw him competing in dual speed and style. He had a great showing out there, and now he's on the list here today, dropping in for the Crankworx Air DH. So it's going to be interesting to see, can he get some points here today in order to keep that momentum going for that King of Crankworx title. He's dropping in the top 10, so we'll have to keep an eye out for Barry Nobles here today.
I'll tell you what, man, Barry Nobles, he wants to win, though. Let's get that out right now. He doesn't want third, he doesn't want second. He wants to win, too.
No, he's super competitive. He's taken a step back from his BMX off-season, working on skills, jumps, pump track. He just does not want to come second, does he?
No, he doesn't. And, talking to him a little bit this morning before he got on up there, and he was just saying the same thing. He just wants to come out, and he wants to get on the podium, but not just get on the podium. He wants to win this thing, and he's got a lot of big names that he's got to face to try and win this thing.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no getting in his head. I mean, he lines up normally 7 guys abreast in a BMX race on the same track.
Here he's on by yourself, right?
Yeah, here he's on his own. But you saw him in the pump track, kind of giving the death stares every now and then, trying to kind of get in the guys' heads. You can't do that in downhill. You're on your own on that track, so it's all up to you.
You can't stand by the starter and say things to the guy that's dropping in next.
Oh, maybe he can. We'll see if Crankworx allows it.
I don't think so either. But you know what? He is trying to become the king of Crankworx, and he knows that the only way to become the road to the king is to come out and compete in as many events as possible, no matter how tired you are. So that's exactly what he's doing. But enough on Mary Nobles, so we'll get to him in a little bit. Let's focus on the guys coming down who are going to start things off. There's Jerome Clements. He is getting ready to go. He's going to be our first rider to come in our top 25. And look who's filming behind him, right?
Yeah, Cedric doing his daily vlogs.
His vlog.
Causing trouble.
Yeah.
So maybe Cedric's trying to get in Jerome's. He's hard out the gate. Jerome Clements, what a pedigree and what an amazing rider. He is from a downhill background. He speaks to me when we catch up every now and then. He used to race me as a downhiller back in the day at World Champs. So he's no slouch on downhill courses. I mean, this day and age, these enduro bikes are super quick. He's a fit guy. So this is going to play into his strengths, I think, this type of course with a bit of the pedaling and the physical aspect of it.
I know, but honestly, do you think he has a shot at being on the podium?
I'm not ruling anyone out because we haven't really seen this race. So we look back to last year, Brannigan took the win. There wasn't a big field. This year we've got such a good field here at Crankworx.
And down across that wall ride right there for Jerome Clements as he makes his way down to the bottom. The time that he is trying to beat right now is Jose Borges from Portugal, 2:16.60. So that's our fastest time we've seen, but we've got our 25 top dudes trying to see if they can knock that time down.
While we're waiting for a time, obviously we're looking. Win Masters also currently in second place. So these are really good times that these guys have put on the board before we came live.
So what I'm seeing right now up in our monitor, we're just seeing 2:16.60 as a time. So I don't have a time on that one, but we'll get times to you as they become available.
We're going back up to the top for Cedric Gracia. He'll have his helmet cam on, that's for sure. He's calling himself semi-retired, but he's doing quite a lot of racing. He is a legend of the sport. If it wasn't for him, the sport wouldn't be in the same place it is now. We're switching gears here to Iego. He's from an enduro background. He's always one of the most stylish guys out there. If you log on to any of the websites, you're always going to see a photo of him doing a turn bar, doing some sort of jump on these enduro recce stages.
Iego Garay right there from Spain, seeing what he can do right now. Jose Borges from Portugal, 2:16.60. That's the time he's trying to beat.
He's looking a little sluggish, I won't lie. I think he's on the big wheels at 29er. There's going to be a few things we need to look at today. Wheel size. 29er versus 27.5. And then you're going to see Phil Atwell throw a spanner in the works. He's got 26-inch on the back and 27. But we will, on the front, we will get to that later. Let's focus on here.
All right.
He's on his enduro bike. It's looking a little bit sluggish here, I won't lie, on the screen. So I don't expect him to knock down that fastest time.
No, he's already well past that. And time's going to be for Iego Garay. That's going to be 2:22.21. So top 10, that's 9th place for him. So he'll find himself in that 9th spot.
And it's great to see these guys out here. They're getting ready. They're off to Tasmania for the next round of EWS. But it's awesome to see them having such a good time. Some of them just use it for training prep. And like you say, there are a few guys out there who are not going to settle for second. So,
well, it's seat time too, right? Start of the year, you want to get as much seat time as you can out there. So this is the opportunity, the more races you do. So let's take a look at our leaderboard and see how it's stacking up so far with some of the competitors have come across. So Gracia coming up here in a little bit. Jose Borges right there. He's got the 2:16.60. You see 0.13 behind that. That's Win Masters. Daniel Franks in that 3rd spot. And that's how it goes all the way down. John Jones in there in 5th. Josh Riley in 6th. All the way down, you see where Iego kind of gets in there in that top 10 as he slides into that 9th spot. Cody Johnson from the U.S., he's down there in that 13th spot. So that's how things are looking right now here in your Air DH going on here, all the way down with those times. And you see Thomas Bally 11.51 off that top time so far. So 2:16.60. What do you think, man? 210 maybe we see?
You're putting me on the spot again.
I love
like
doing
an IXS.
I'll put you on the spot. I don't mind doing this.
Okay, I'll go for 211 then.
You're saying 211, okay? All right. Well, I would trust what you say over what I'd say any day of the week. So.
Well, we got to hear what you say.
Oh, I have to
throw a number. I've put it out there.
All right, 209, okay? 209 I'm going to go. So
That's
you go.
a big call.
All right,
it's definitely possible. Like I said,
I'm
we're
going
going
to
to
write
see
this down. Hold on here. Okay, 211, 209.
We're going to see a few different bikes out there. I've been kind of going around the pits, and Phil Atwell, he brought his jump bike, 26-inch. But then he decided to put a 27.5-inch on the front. Obviously, he has a 27.5 fork.
How do you do what?
Well, he does. Full the thrill.
That's why.
What's awesome to see is, but then I heard that Slavik obviously followed him down on his enduro bike. And I think he might have switched to his hardtail. So let's see if we see these guys on their hardtails.
And here is Cedric Garcia now coming in. Here we go. See what he can do. He's trying to beat a 2:16.60. Can he do it? We will find out pretty closely.
Yeah, Cedric the Joker, the flamboyant Frenchman. It's never a dull moment when he's on track, off track, in the bar, you name it. He's had an amazing, amazing career. It's great to see him out here, kind of giving back to the sport. He's doing rides with Santa Cruz. He's doing the EWSs, but he's no slouch. He's up at the split from what we can see in our timing. He does also come from a racing BMX background, obviously skiing background. Super competitive, super strong guy. So he's super fit for enduro. He's going to be able to keep it together, hopefully, down the rest of this track.
Well, you saw the split time, so he definitely has the lead on that one. So he has a chance to crush that 2:16.60, but he's just got to stay on his game right here, Needles.
Yeah, he'll be on his 29er. He really enjoys this bike. And what we're going to see out of that is kind of, once it's up to speed, it's got really good rolling. So he's probably going to have an advantage with that.
Love how he keeps it low over those tables right there. He knows exactly how to find that speed, and that's what he's doing here.
Yeah, Cedric, one of the most stylish guys on a bike. He loves to boost it, let it all hang out. But today he's really got to keep his game face on, and you can see it. He's really putting in a strong ride here, Brad.
Oh, look at this. Check the time for Cedric Garcia. Check the time, 2:13 and counting. Can he do it? Coming across the time, 2:15.89. He's done it. Garcia in the #1 position. Interesting. I mean, I'm surprised he had time from his vlog to be able to actually take that run right there.
Yeah, who knows how much sleep he's had being out, having a few beers, vlogging, updating, editing.
Well, that's a pretty darn fast time, 2:15.89. And that's 4 seconds faster than you said the fastest time going to be. Mark Scott now. See what Mark Scott can do from Great Britain out of Edinburgh, doing it for Santa Cruz.
Yeah, he had a strong ride here in Rotorua Crankworx at the Giant Tar Enduro, 10th place. He's had a 5th place at an Enduro before, so he is really competitive on the Enduro scene. You see what he did there? He's kind of got the back wheel on the ground and he's carried on pedaling. That was kind of his technique to get over that jump fast. Kind of a BMX technique.
Little slower than Garcia, 1.46 off on that split right there.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to reel back time on this course. There's not a lot that can kind of separate these riders. It's a smooth course. You know, there's only so much pedaling you can do if you're a fitter rider. There's only so much you can actually kind of get ahead of these other guys.
You see how he's just trying to keep that rubber on that dirt as much as he can.
Yeah, your legs will be burning hard at the bottom of this with all the pumping, pedaling, staying low. It's kind of like doing kind of jump squats for 2 minutes.
Cedric Garcia's time, 2:15.89. Here comes Mark Scott, airing it out, coming across the line, 2:16.45. He's going to be 0.5 seconds, 56 off, and he'll find himself in second place now. So Garcia holding on to that #1 spot. 2:15.89. Scott, 2:16.45. Borges, a 2:16.6. You can listen to how winded he is. Taking a look at our current leader right now, Cedric Garcia.
So Cedric really strong when he's on the pedals. And I think he lost a bit of time near the bottom to these other riders. So we're going to see if other guys don't touch at this first split, they might have a kind of a way to get in there at the end.
Yeah, because he was almost 3 seconds up on the split, but he only beat that top time just by a little bit, like a second. Here we go. Next up, what do we got here?
Cody Kelly. We see him in the pump track. Big EWS star, youngster. He's really putting some results together. So let's see what he can put together here on the ADH. Doesn't focus on it all the time. Like we said, he's an EWS rider. It's great to see the mix of riders here. He's a little bit down, but what I noticed is I think Cedric was a bit sluggish near the end. I can't say that anything happened, but 1 or 2 riders took some time back on that last minute.
Yeah, like we were saying, he had the 3 seconds at that split, just under 3 seconds. So he wasn't able, he was only able to beat it by a second. So he did lose a little bit down that bottom part. So you can probably make it up.
Definitely, with a little bit of line choice, setting up nice into these berms, you can carry a little bit more speed. Cody whipping it out there, doing a bit of a scrub for the fans.
You can hear the fans getting behind Cody right now.
That's the turn that took Casey Brown out earlier in our broadcast. You can see how the berm just kind of fades away at the end, and if you're just pushing a bit much, you're going to lose the front.
And there's the time right there you see in the yellow, 2:15.89. Cedric Gracia holding on to the fastest time so far here of the day. Brad J, Andrew Needling on the mic, bringing our final broadcast for you going on. Your Air D8s. The time in for Cody Kelly, a 2:17.76, sixth place, 1.87 behind Gracia's time right there. And some big names keep coming up here that I'm looking down our start list right now.
Well, you said it. We got Richie Rude up next.
Look at, yeah. How come he's not videotaping right now? Where's the vlog? Come on, Cedric, get your camera going, buddy.
Doping test, doping.
There. Now he's filming right now.
I want to do my own doping test because this is not normal.
Talk to me about Richie Rude.
Richie Rude, former world downhill champion, switched over to downhill after that 2013 went from downhill, went to EWS, and my word, did he light it on fire. Two-time EWS Series champion of the world at that young age. There's going to be so many good things to come out of him in the future. Oh, dropping a foot there. It was a tight line that he picked there, so it could have been by choice.
Well, we'll see right now. The split coming up. Richie Rude, the American Richie Rude, 0.91 off Cedric, so he can reel this back in, couldn't he?
He really can. Like I said, I think I saw a bit of a sluggish end to Cedric's race. And obviously, Richie is so fit, so powerful. Power wheeling over that tabletop. If anyone could bring back that time, it'll be Richie Rude.
Oh, Richie Rude trying to stay out. Oh, another little foot tap. That might just cost him.
That's definitely going to cost him some time. You do not want to have bubbles in these berms. It's just not enough track to make it back up. But I don't want to speak too soon. He's taken a line. He's decided to go around the jump and try pump there. He's fighting for this one, but let's not count him out.
Well, here we go. Richie Rude coming up around that 2-minute mark, down the wall ride, trying to keep that focus going, getting those pedal strokes in, trying to stay low. 2:15.89, that's the time he's trying to beat. He's going to come into view right here. Look at this right here. Can he do it? Can he do it? Check the time here for Richie Rude. He's done it! 2:15.06, the #1 spot. He reeled it back with a couple foot dabs in there. What?
That power is just immense. We clearly saw Cedric's done something wrong in the last end, so we're going to hopefully go back. Let's look at what happened with some of those bobbles. Let's have a look, Brad.
Yeah, you kind of imagine, well, if he didn't have that foot dab, where does he end up? There it is, 2 little touches right there.
He's definitely lost some time there, so what an impressive last minute. He's just so strong. He's not fatigued at all. Obviously, he's EWS fit.
Yeah, don't count him out. That's right. Richie Rude doing it in a big way, so he'll take the top time, 2:15.06. Now we take a look at Henry Fitzgerald. He's pedaling hard. He's ready to try and see if he can challenge that time.
Yeah, youngster from Canada, first-year elite. He's got a top 10 at his Worlds in junior, so he's no slouch on the downhill bike.
Part of that Norco Factory Racing team, Henry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he's also had some podium finish as a junior at our Crankworx event, so that's nice to see him supporting this tour.
And you can see that he is well back behind that time, 3.53 at that split for Henry Fitzgerald. I don't think he's going to be able to challenge Richie Rude, because I don't know how you could get that back.
No, Richie, even with, like we said, with those mistakes, he rode a super strong bottom minute. Fitzgerald's out here, obviously kind of getting some training in for his downhill season coming up ahead. Onto Norco Factory Racing in those bright colors. Still having some fun out here. ADH is, not everyone's taking it seriously. We often see trains, we often see whips. It's a kind of a crowd favorite event as well, like our Whipple.
Well, so far it seems like these top 25 guys are taking it pretty seriously here. Henry Fitzgerald, he's going to be well off that time. There he's down the wall ride. And get a couple little strokes in there. Try to keep it low over the tables. Richie Rude's 2:15.06. Man, that is a fast time. Yeah, you can see. So he's past that right now. Henry Fitzgerald. The time in for Henry. Going to check in with a 2:23.3. Top 10. Henry Fitzgerald done for the day.
Yeah, Richie Rude's is a strong ride. I think we're going to see it hold up for quite a while deep into this men's field.
Well, you're seeing your top 25 men here competing. We'll take a look at how things are looking so far out here with a bunch more to go. There he is, Richie Rude, the American right there in that top spot. A double shock out of him. That's pretty cool. 2:15.06 for Rude. Grassi in that second spot at 2:15.89. So those guys are pretty darn close, but he reeled it back because he was behind Grassi on that first split, right?
Definitely. Craig Evans, super strong UK rider, riding for the Hope Factory Racing. He's part of the 50-1 crew with Josh Bryson and the other boys, so they release a lot of content, keeping it fun. We're going to see Josh later. Although he retired from racing, I'm seeing Josh a lot of these Crankworx events, so we love it. Let's see where Craig Evans is going to shape up. Also, more focus on the downhill, but he's on his trail bike. Should be holding some good speed here, using it for training maybe.
A few seconds back on that first split, so it's going to be tough for him to make up that difference. Richie Rude just so fast and so fit, showing you why he's the leader right now with a 2:15.06.
Yeah, it's good to see Richie out here before he flies off to Tasmania. He had quite a rough time in the EWS here at Crankworx, obviously with rain soaked, and it was tough to come down at the end of the field. Craig Evans keeping it low there.
I like that.
Good. Obviously, he's kind of not holding as good pace as Richie. Richie was incredible down this last minute. So he's a little bit far back, but, you know, it's not over till the fat lady sings, you know?
Oh, indeed. And we'll see if Craig Evans can get as close as he can to that top 10 right now. Richie Rude, 2:15.06. And as we go past that time right there, there's a look at Craig Evans coming across. His time is going to be a 2:19.19, 4.13 off the top. That's a top 10 right now for Craig Evans. Let's see if we can let's take a look at Richie Rude here. Let's just talk about his run and take a look at here on the replay here and see just how fast he was and how he kept that speed going, Needles.
So he's just incredible out the gate. His power is just second to none. He's a really strong guy. Obviously, he's working so hard. You can see how much speed he's carrying kind of compared to the other competitors. I think he would have set his bike up pretty stiff compared to his EWS setup, and that's why you're going to lose in some of those turns. You're not going to have as much traction when you stiffen up the suspension for this type of race.
Lewis Hamilton now out of Rotorua, the local boy here. Let's see what he can do out here to try and challenge Richie Rude. That's going to be tough. You got to think, if Richie Rude doesn't have those little foot dabs in there, he might even shave another 1 or 2 more seconds off that time.
I would agree. He could have put down quite a heater there, but I mean, he's in the hot seat. He's safe from now. But let's see what these other guys can do. This is local boy. He's in touch. That's really good. So maybe he has a strong bottom. Because Richie really...
Well, you know, he's done so many laps here at Skyline. He's the local boy. He's from Rotorua, so he knows this very, very well. So see if that could transpire into a fast time.
Yeah, he could even do kind of less practice because he's probably seen this course a few times, hasn't he,
Yeah,
Brad?
a couple here and there. You live here. I'm sure he spent a lot of time before we came out here in the last month or so just hitting this one after another.
Yeah, he's a super friendly guy, exciting guy on the bike. We'll always see him here at the Crankworx here at Rotorua. Let's hope he can put down something exciting for his hometown fans. There's nothing better than delivering in front of your hometown, huh?
Yeah, he's just got to keep it together. Remember, once again, he's trying to beat Richie Rude's 2:15.06. There it is right there. You can see that in yellow underneath Lewis Hamilton's name, 2:15.06, time to beat. And we'll see him come out here in just a moment. There's a look at him right there. Catch that green kit. Here we go. Crossing line. The time in 2:16.76. Sixth place for the local boy, Lewis Hamilton. 1.70 off that top time of Rude.
Still a great ride. It's really good to kind of be able to deliver in front of a hometown. The crowd's kind of shaping up here. Last day at Crankworx Rotorua. Brad, I'm getting a bit sad. I got to go home next day.
Let's talk about staying low, because staying low, you keep talking about staying low. Seems to be that's the ticket out here today.
So as you see, when he comes up to this jump, what you're going to see, obviously they'll roll some tape. He's got a tabletop to clear, but you're really trying to get to the top of that landing and get really high so you can generate huge momentum down the backside. So it's not about air or style, Brad. You got to go forward, you got to go low, and you don't want to overjump because then you're also going to lose momentum.
I like how you bring that up because you want to stay low over the table, but you still want to land high up on a transition so you can pump out of that and get the most speed possible, right?
Yes.
Dakota Norton now. Dakota Norton on course. He was surprised everyone at Crankworx in 2015 with a third place in pump track.
Yeah, and he was also 2015, won the slalom, kind of a breakout result. He's been getting some more support to do some more racing, which is great to see. We saw him. Man, we spoke about it earlier. That dirt is so slick and kind of unpredictable. It's drier where the sun is, but if you catch it in the shade, you're just going to lose your front wheel or your back.
I just saw him just trying to rail it around that corner right there, and just, you know what? He just overcooked it just a bit. Because like you said, the conditions change from the shadows to the sun, back to the shadows, back to the sun.
Yeah, and for this DH, you're obviously going to set your bike up to suit the course. The course is super smooth, nice tabletops. You're going to pump that suspension up. You're also probably going to put a bit more air in your tires for the rolling resistance. You want to decrease as much rolling resistance. Problem with that is, any little bump, you're going to have a little bit less traction. Then you kind of get light, and then you start sliding on that dirt.
So well off the time because of the fall for Dakota Norton, so not able to dispatch Richie from that top spot. But you know what? That's too bad because he was having a good run up top, that's for sure. So 30 to play, 2:25.86. Hey, even 10 seconds off that top time, but having that fall. Let's take a look at the fall, and we can see kind of what went wrong. Take a look here. Now watch this.
So he's pushing hard. He's committed here as hard as he can. He's coming in a bit inside, and he's just lost traction on the rear wheel first, actually. Whereas Casey obviously pushed the front, but too much weight on the front.
Same turn, too. That's the same
he's
turn.
Just lost the back there, and that's the end of the race, but he'll be back.
Well, you know what? He was, like I said, good upper section right there for him. He was looking to put in a fast time, but Richie Rude holding on to that hot seat right now. And his time, 2:15.06. Gracia in second, 2:15.89 for him. Mark Scott from Great Britain, he is in third, a 2:16.45 for him. So those are your times. Needles was saying possibly a 2:11 today, huh? That's what you're thinking, huh, buddy?
Yeah, I think I got a bit aggressive on that time, but let's hope we see it.
Kieran McNinnon now coming up here from the U.S. 0.76 back on the split.
Yeah, strong American rider. I haven't been seeing all of his results, but I know he's up and coming.
Well, we saw Richie Rude reel it back, too, with under a second there.
Yeah, and Kieran's a big man of stature. He'll be strong down the bottom, hopefully.
Oh, that was gravitational pull, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, definitely. Once you're up to speed, man, it's a bit difficult to slow it down, but once you're up to speed, yeah, definitely. On tracks like this, you'll be surprised. The heavier rider sometimes has an advantage.
Good, then that would help me out. All right, that was Kieran making his way down. Still trying to beat a 2:15.06. Down the wall ride, keeping that focus going. Trying to stay low over those tables.
Yeah, he's still looking good. He's almost in touch here. Let's see what he can do, bringing it home, yeah?
Yeah, maybe he could pull in top 5, top 10. I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Check the time for Kieran. He's going to come across 1.58 back. Top 5 for Kieran McKinnon right there from the U.S. Still no one taking that top spot away from Richie Rude. We talked about it earlier today saying, it could be anyone from the start of this 25 all the way down to the end. So it ain't over yet. There's a lot of talented riders coming up.
It's a strong ride by Kieran. He's ahead of some really, really established riders, so that'll give him some confidence going into other events.
Well, we got Reese Wilson, Keegan Wright, Matt Walker, all supposed to be coming up. We see them next on our start list. But Richie Rude, 2:15.06. Santa Gracia, 2:15.89. There's plate 24. That's Keegan Wright, looks like.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, Keegan Wright, now remember, he was the champ out there at the Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShox, so he won that. Our first night, our first broadcast out here, he took the win with the local boy taking the win. That's pretty special.
He delivered in front of a hometown crowd under the pressure. He didn't crack. He's your 2017 New Zealand National Downhill Champ.
And 1.29 back for Keegan Wright. Do you think he could make that difference up? Rude's pretty gnarly. I don't know about that.
Rude had such a good bottom split, but like we said, he did make some bobbles. So anyone else in touch, he's given it his all. He's not even put knee pads on yet, Brad.
No knee pads, no elbow pads, no gloves.
No care. I mean, like we said, he was letting it all hang out at the pump track, so he's got extra motivation. Little bobble in that turn, didn't get to clear that tabletop. He's going to lose a little bit of time there. He chose to go around that jump, as you can see. He felt he could go around the lip, pump the backside instead of jumping.
Richie Rude, the 2:15.06. Keegan Wright trying to see what he can do to this. He looks kind of fast in this lower section.
He really is, and he's in touch here. He might just do it, but maybe a second back, Brad. Let's bring him home.
Well, here we go. Keegan Wright, the winner of the Pump Track Challenge just the other night, not able to take Richie Rude out. Where's he going to end up? He's going to end up in a top 10 spot, 9th, 2:41 off Richie's time right there. So Keegan Wright trying to do what he can do. Not bad having a win, winning the Pump Track.
It's so good to see Richie here. I mean, some of the EWS pros, they competed in Crankworx, they spectated a few of the events, and then they went to Tasmania early. But Richie obviously had his eyes set on this race. He stayed.
Well, and for good reason, because look at the time, too. He put up the 2:15.06, so he'll hold on to that. As Keegan will finish up his day out here. And a good, you know, got to give him big props to Keegan Wright coming out and winning the Pump Track Challenge presented by Rocksock. Not bad to start his first stop here, Crankworx World Tour here in Rotorua. Rajay Andrew Needling on the mic with you. Our final broadcast going on, and that is plate 23. That's Matt Walker, the New Zealand boy out, another Kiwi in the mix.
Matt Walker left here last year as the Crankworx, or the King of Crankworx series leader.
Yeah, he was the leader.
Such a good year last year. And he's 1.1 seconds up, and he's power wheeling over that tabletop. If anyone can stay within touch of Richie's bottom minute, it's probably this man. BMX background, local boy. We know he's fit and strong. He knows how to ride berms. He knows how to ride jumps.
Oh my gosh, just look at his style here, and he is up. Can he continue this going?
So you see
Here's a tough one right here.
Brad, he was taking the wide line on that jump, kind of just trying to gain more momentum. Other guys were sneaking on the right. I kind of like Matt's line there.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm liking what Matt's putting down too, man, because he's got a good time too. That split, he was up. Let's see where he's at here.
Yeah, I think he's up, man. We've got to see a new leader here.
Matt Walker trying to beat a 2:15.06. Oh, wow. Check the time. Check the time. Matt Walker, 2:12.53, the #1 spot. Boom.
No surprise there. Like we said, he left here last year as the series champion, so we know he can ride every different discipline on every different bike.
Let's take a look at some of the replays of that fast man right there, Matt Walker.
Yeah, it took quite an inside line there. He stayed in the loose dirt, which actually has more traction than that blue groove dirt I spoke about. And it's a shorter track, so if you can kind of hold momentum for the next jump, you do want to take the shorter distance.
I mean, you're commenting on his line choice, saying that's a good line choice. You like that line choice. And I mean, if you're going to like anyone's line choice, a guy who's a local who knows how to get it done, I like that line choice too as well.
Most certainly. And here I spoke about Phil the Thrill Atwell.
Phil the Thrill.
He's brought his jump bike out, but it's not just because he didn't bring an enduro bike. I think he feels his bike's faster. 26-inch rear wheel, 27.5 front wheel. Can he stay in touch with Matt Walker's first split?
Well, doesn't look like he's going to be able to top that. What's he going to be off on that? Yeah, he's 3.41, so
yeah,
Phil Atwell not able to keep close on that one.
Often with a hardtail, it feels faster, but if you're not there with the timing, you might not just, you're going to get it wrong. You might feel it's faster, but at the end of the day, it's not fast an enduro bike. Enduro bike kind of soaks up the bumps, feels like you're going a bit slower, but often the timing says you're going faster than a hardtail.
That's a good point. Hardtail versus trail bike right there from Needles. 146 accounting, 2:12.53. Hey man, you said 2:11 could be the fastest time. I think you're looking pretty smart on this one, Needles.
Let's hope.
Will Atwell from Great Britain.
But these hardtails will carry really good speed on the flats and the jumps if you can keep it low. Problem is you kind of often overjump tabletops on the hardtail versus kind of soaking them up, soaking the lip up with their dual suspension.
Look at the difference there, just about almost 3 seconds between Matt Walker and Richie Rude here for 1 and 2, so well off the time. Phil Atwell, 2:17.73, 11th place for Phil. So he is done for Crankworx Rotorua here. As you can see, Matt Walker holding down that hot seat right now. Love getting that little insight between the guys right there. All right, let's check in with Hannah, see if we can get a word with our current leader now. Hannah, what's going on down there?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm standing here with the local boys, lived in Rotorua for the last 3 years. I have Matt Walker here. Now, Matt, you just knocked off Richie Rude, two-time world champion at the EWS Tour, off of the hot seat by 2.5 seconds here in the ADH. How does that feel?
I'm pretty stoked, to be honest. I wasn't really expecting too much from this. Just thought I'd give it a bit of beans out there and see how it goes. But yes, real stoked.
And you've been so busy this week. You competed in pump track, dual speed, and style enduro on Sunday. Where do you find the energy, Matt?
Yeah, it was a really hard week with like condensing the week down. We lost a day, so there was a lot less time for practice, which is it's affected a few events, but then I sort of took a step back and decided to select a few that I'd like to do good in.
Let's talk about this course here today. We've been hearing from a lot of guys. It's very slick, very greasy out there. Talk to us about your race down the hill.
Yeah, it was a real hard course out there. There was just a few turns that were real icy, so I just took those ones easy. But other than that, it's just a full pedal fest and keep it low, carry speed, and it's a hard one out there for sure.
Thanks, Matt.
I like what he said. It's a full pedal fest out there because that's what it is. And that's what caters to guys like Richie Rude, you know, because, EWS guy, he's used to putting some pedal strokes in there. That's why when you get a guy like that and you take him down by 2.53, that's a big difference between Richie Rude and Matt Walker.
Yeah, you really need some power in those legs to get down this course fast. And Matt Walker has that from the BMX background and doing gate starts, etc.
Well, we got some of the top dogs coming up for you in just a little while. It's about 12 to 13 more riders to go. Standing in between the mix, who's going to come away with the Air DH 3, 2, and 1? You know what? I'm not going to spoil it because we don't know either. Stay with us because more coming up. Top 13 on the way, man.
I'm the baddest mother up in here, and I'm about to make it clear. It's going down like I told you. I'm the baddest mother up in here. I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you. I'll have you begging for mercy, begging for mercy. Oh.
Crankworx Rotorua, stop number 1, the Crankworx World Tour. It is your Air DH final broadcast of an amazing week out here. Skyline Gravity Bike Park here. Brad J, Andrew Needling, and there's a dude right there who's been crushing it. He's your current leader, Matt Walker, 2:12.53. Let's take a look at some of the highlights what this guy's been throwing down.
He was hard out the gate. Like we said, BMX background, local boy. He knows this trail well. He knows which lines work, and we saw a few different lines today. You see here how he cuts inside, kind of in the more soft dirt. There's actually more grip there today. Hard power wheelie over that tabletop, maximizing speed. In the big berms, you see he sets up nice and wide and high to carry as much pace as he can going into the next section.
Taking a look at him right there, just trying to stay nice and low over all those jumps. Like that line going into this.
This is what I want to show you, Brad. You can see how low he's staying. He's carrying so much pace, and he's just absorbing that lip, staying as low as he can, and getting as quick as he can onto the downslope, generate speed. Perfect technique, like we said, from a BMX background. He knows this trail. He knows which jumps to pop, which to suck up. Carrying a lot of speed through the wood berm. Where he's not pedaling, he's pumping the ground. That really, really makes a difference on a 2-minute track. He came out hot out of the forest and into the lead. It was amazing to see. I'm sure he said he was just going to give it a go, but we know he was focusing on it.
Well, and also, you know, you look at what Matt Walker did last year, you know, being the leader after this stop for the King of Crankworx. So you know he's got what it takes to get up there. He competes in a lot of events. And once again, I always keep saying that. It's like beating the dead horse. But the more events you compete in, the better you do in those events, has a better chance of coming away at the King of Crankworx. And that's what Matt Walker and a lot of guys try to quest for.
Yeah, every little point counts at the end of a Crankworx season. Like we see, he's put 2 seconds into Richie Rude. We know Richie made some mistakes on the bottom little half, but Matt Walker's run from what we saw was pretty flawless. We didn't see all of it, obviously, but I think it's going to be tough to beat.
Well, and that's a good point. Richie Rude, we saw a couple foot dabs out of him. I think there was 2 or 3 possibly in that run. So if he doesn't have those, him and Matt Walker are probably pretty darn close, I'd say, in their times.
Yeah, very close. We've got some amazing riders to come up. I'm keen to see what Josh Bryce can put in. I know he's having a lot of fun on the bike, but often when you're having fun, you can lay down a good lap. It's probably not the course that suits him, though, but I always love seeing him on track. And then we're going to jump into Barry Nobles, Adrian Lauren, Mitch Ropalata, Thomas Slavic. Those are all kind of pump track guys that we see at Crankworx that really excel there. This is a glorified pump track, isn't it?
It's a glorified pump track. That's a good way to put it, Niels. There's Richie Rude. He's been bumped into that second spot. Gracia will settle for third for the time being, but I got to think that's going to change. It's probably going to change for the rest of them because we're looking at the list and we're looking at all the names, and the remaining like 10 to 12 guys that we're looking at all have a chance to come away with the victory today. All right, top 10 dudes. Now look at plate number 12. That's Rupert Chapman now out of Christchurch.
Yeah, new team for him. He's onto the Pivot Factory Racing, run by Bernard Kerr. I know Bernard Kerr's actually put a manager in place so he can focus even more on his racing. So that's going to be great for this whole team, you know. He's really excelled. Rupert Chapman, he'll have some good motivation. It's always nice switching teams, switching bikes. Kind of got more drive to get out on their bike, test, kind of get up to speed. Oh, he's a little bit back, but I mean, he's just got such good depth there to go against Matt Walker.
Oh, that's going to be a tough one to try and reel back, though, for the man Rupert Chapman. He's going to have to do his best, but when you're down that far to a fast man like Walker, I got to think that's going to be tough. 2:12.53, that's your time to beat Matt Walker, top dog right now. Richie Rude in second, 2:15.06. So Gracia in third, 2:15.89 for him. And you see Mark Scott in fourth.
Yeah, Rupert Chapman, your 2016 National Downhill Champion, focuses maybe more on the core downhill type events. Obviously puts his name in the hat here, sees how he can do, but they often use it for prep, fitness. You're against the clock, so you're really pushing yourself. Even if you make a mistake, you've got to get going. It really helps you for the rest of the season.
So here's a look at Rupert right now, and there's the time. So he passes the time right now, Matt Walker. So Matt Walker will have no challenge from Rupert Chapman. And Rupert Chapman's going to come across 6.82 off. 16th place for Rupert Chapman on that one still. Matt Walker 2:12.53. And let's see if we can get an update on what's going on down there from Hannah Bernard. Hannah, what's happening?
Thanks very much, Brad. Well, I've had a chance to talk with a few of the guys about how the course is holding up here today. Talking to seasoned vet Jerome Clements, he was talking about those slick, greasy areas of the course that we are seeing, and the guys that are just going to be strictly focused on speed, they're going to make mistakes because line choice is so paramount in this trail here today. So it's going to be those guys that are going to make that strategic line choice and overcome those mistakes here today that are going to come down with the best time.
I really like what she said, line choice, because that goes back to what you said, Needles. It is about the line choice, and we saw Matt Walker with some incredible line choices out there today.
Joe Smith, it's going to be tough for him. He's on flat pedals, so he's really going to kind of lose some upward pulling on the pedals. Everyone else is normally clipped in. You can normally make a little bit more power, but it is a smooth track, so it's not going to hurt him that much. Let's get back to what Hannah said about the line choice. Yes, Matt had some interesting lines. He knows the course. But when we talk line choice on a track like this, we're talking a matter of difference in inches. It's not like when around a tree over a route. If you set up even 2 inches wider into some turns, you're going to gain so much more momentum coming out. So it's really fine details on this track.
Well, and a guy like Matt Walker who's very familiar with this track, so he's going to try and squeeze out every line choice, proper line choice, to get the best time possible, right?
Yeah, if you think about how many turns on this track, say you have 20 turns and you can just milk like a split second there, split second there, pump here, you're going to get a second or two in the long run. So you've really got to be accurate with your line choice. And like we said, it could be a matter of missing this bump and it's just an inch to the left or an inch to the right actually makes a difference.
So Joe Smith not able to challenge Matt Walker on this one. So Joe Smith's going to come across his time, 2:15.65. Third place, though, 3.12, 3 seconds off that top time that we saw of Matt Walker.
Yeah, that's a very respectable time. Like I said, he races downhill on flats. I'm pretty sure he kept flats on. He's on his trail bike. It just shows his off-season training is paying off if he can stick with these big guys with clips on this sort of a track.
Well, with Joe Smith doing that, Cedric Gracia now will be in fourth and off the podium now with a 2:15.89. So your podium, as it looks right now, with some heavy hitters still to come. Joe Smith in third, 2:15.65. Richie Rude in second, a 2:15.06. And Matt Walker, as you can see right there in the hot seat, a 2:12.53. Relaxing and is all smiles. And now Josh Bryceland.
Man, your 2014 World Cup overall champion. He infamously missed out on the World Championship in that same year by overjumping that bridge. I know the crowds love him. He's taken a step back from full-time racing. He obviously got to the top. He kind of said he was missing the drive and the love for the sport. He loves riding bikes, all sorts of bikes. You can see him taking an inside line there, dropping the foot. It's great to still see him out at the Crankworx events competing.
It sure is. He's got so much steez, too. That guy's rolling the whole black kid here. 134 and counting for Josh Bryceland, still trying to beat a 2:12.53. That's the number that Matt Walker has put up. Richie Rude in second, Joe Smith in third.
Yeah, he's a crowd favorite. It looks like he's left his flat pedals on his bike. He's whipping it out. He knows that ADH for him is probably a good time. He's kind of a lifestyle athlete these days, isn't he? But I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe in a year or two, maybe we see him pick up the full racing boots again. I'm not sure.
Well, right now, it's all about having fun, it looks like, for Josh Bryceland.
Yeah, you got to follow his videos, him and his buddies. I know they did an amazing Fox video tribute to Stevie Smith. So if you guys, you got to get out, you got to see that video. I haven't been privy to see it yet, but I've heard some great things.
So here we go, Josh Bryceland, 2:18 and counting, 2:12.53. Matt Walker, that's the time for him, 2:22 and some change right there, and that's going to wrap it up for Bryceland. Good to see him back on the bike. You know what? I am so excited to see him out here at Crankworx. I hope we get to see a lot more of him. So, but right now, Matt Walker, 2:12.53, still the fastest time. Josh down there, and Richie Rude still in that second spot. But there's 2.5 seconds between Richie Rude and Matt Walker. So there's room between number 2 and number 1 right now.
There really is. The podium is not set yet. It's good to see Cedric Gracia. He just slipped off in fourth. Still a great ride for him. Mark Scott as well.
Oh, Barry Nobles now. There we go. Boy, he's got that eye of the tiger right now. Barry Nobles really wants this, man. He can taste it. He's going to have to try and beat 2:12.53, Needles.
Yeah, if Barry can stay consistent and smart in these turns, he's going to have a shot at this because obviously he's got a lot of power from the BMX background. Let's bring him into this first split and see where he is. Seems like he's a little bit back.
Yeah, 2.62. That's going to be tough to make that one up against Matt Walker.
Very difficult to reel that back, but let's focus on his technique here. He's such good BMX technique. We know he's got power. We know he can stay low on these jumps. Oh, doing the nose press. We haven't seen that yet today.
Yeah, that's how you keep it low right there.
But it's great to see guys from the BMX background. We know the EWS, we know the downhill. It's great to see them all come and race together on one course, one format.
150 and counting right now. You got Barry Nobles on course right now. He has said that he's making a charge for the King of Crankworx, competing in as many events as he can, including here at the Air DH here today.
Yeah, and every point counts, so you know he shouldn't give up, even if he's a bit off at the split. If he can pop some points in the bag here, that really sets him up good for the rest of the year.
You know, and that's what some people don't realize. It's every place you can jump. Hey, maybe you don't win, maybe you don't get second, maybe you don't get third, but every result you can get, the higher you can finish up, the better for you. Top 20 right there, 18th place, 2:19.55, 7 seconds off the time of Matt Walker with a 2:12.53.
Yeah, he's a competitive rider. He's probably not going to be happy with that.
It's only going to be like 2 minutes of just pain.
How can a guy pedal as hard as you watching him pedal but still be so far back?
Yeah, that's the key to this race. You've got to select where to pedal. If you're pedaling in the wrong spot, you're actually losing speed. You're sometimes better off to pump the dirt because when you're pedaling, sometimes the back wheel lifts up. You kind of don't get that much traction. So do you understand that?
Yeah, I totally get that.
You've really got to be smart and know when to pedal, when not.
Well, this guy definitely knows not to pedal in pump track because there is no pedaling in pump track, and this guy has been a pump track crusher. Ended up in second place, trying to see if he can make a run also at the King Crankworx. He's one of those dudes, Adrian Lerone. He's one of those guys that all he cares about is winning. Not second place, not third, winning.
Yeah, he's been doing some off-season training on the downhill bike. He's gone over to South America. He's done some... Oh, he's a bit back at the split, 2.39. Like I was saying, he's really hoping to just put a good run together because he can land himself in the top 10 or even better, the top 5. He's still going to get a lot of points for King of Crankworx. So he's been working on his downhill. We saw him, obviously he's amazing at pump track.
A couple second place finishes for him so far at this first stop of the Crankworx World Tour. So whatever he can do here is only gravy on top of those potatoes.
Yeah, he's already probably come out of this week super satisfied, super happy with the results. He's going to go back. He's got a lot of time to prepare for the next few stops of Crankworx.
Well, wait a minute. He's not happy with the results because he doesn't want to end up in second place. So I know you say he's happy with the results, but it's Adrian Lerone we're talking about.
Yeah, but it's a long season.
You're right.
He did come out on the series pump track without winning, but yeah, he's all competitive. Obviously, he wants to put a win under his belt.
Because I had talked to him about winning the series. I go, look, you won the series in pump track last year. It doesn't even matter that you didn't win in the events. And he goes, to me, it does matter that I didn't win in the events. I want to win the events and win the series.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So he will check into top 10, and that's good. If he can hold on right about there, 2:17.31, Adrian Lerone. Well, let's take a look at pump track. There's Adrian Lerone. He ended up in second on this one.
Yeah, he had some tough matchups. Now we bring it back to the downhill here. It's a good thing you didn't forget to pedal.
Yeah, this one you can pedal in, unlike pump track where there is no chains on there. So, Adrian Lerone right there, and now Mitch Ropalato.
Mitch Ropalato,
he's got to be tired, man.
Yeah, didn't he excite us in the dual speed and style and the pump track, throwing a huge front flip. I couldn't believe it. He's a man of many talents, and when he puts his mind to something, he can be a threat. Let's bring him into this first split and see. He's looking for 116.8.
He's pretty far back on this one, I got to think here. Yeah, he's pretty far back. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Well, I know that good friend Kyle Strait has his 30th birthday last night, so I'm sure that Mitch was hanging out with all the boys last night.
What are you trying to say, bro?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying they're having fun, so he's all smiles today.
Yeah, Crankworx is all about fun, so sometimes the birthdays overlap with these events. Late nights, early mornings, lots of practice, lots of fun. I love coming to these events.
Oh, indeed. Mitch Ropalato, Rope-a-Dope, doing his thing right now. 2:12.53. Matt Walker's got the fastest time of the day so far. Richard Reed's got the second fastest, and Joe Smith has his third fastest time so far as we look at Mitch Ropalato.
And Mitch needs to push to the finish because he's no slouch in all these events. He can win pump track. That gives you a lot of points. He's already got podiums. He can do dual speed and style. When he has enough practice time, he can be good in the downhill. So he's really got to fight for points for this King of Crankworx.
And one heck of a nice man, indeed. I mean, he is just such a good dude through and through. That's Mitch Ropalato, 13th place, so he'll check in 2:17.66, 5 seconds off the time of Matt Walker's 2:12.53. So that'll do it, and that'll wrap up Crankworx Rotorua.
Bit of a flat one, eh?
For him, and Matt Walker surviving another assault at that time of the 2:12.53 for Walker.
Can he do it? There's not many riders to come. Some big names, obviously.
So what, we got Slavic coming up, the Bulldog on the way, Kerr coming up, Bas van Steenbergen on the way too as well.
He just has to knock 1 or 2 more off, then he has his guaranteed podium, and that's great points for the King of Crankworx. And speaking of the King of Crankworx, our current King of Crankworx.
Hail the King. Here he is right now. Thomas Slavic, 2 broken bones in that left wrist that he broke in pump track, but he has still been charging, did great in speed and style, but he's still going strong.
That's so manly to decide to come on the hardtail with that injury on the wrist. Is it going to pay off? He's a little bit back, but don't count him out down the bottom on this hardtail. The whole mountain flattens out at the end. He might be able to carry more speed on that hardtail. He's riding gloveless because he's obviously had to strap his wrist, so he can't even get his glove on. He's got full commitment here for the ADH.
Well, and the thing with Slavic, since he is the King of Crankworx, he is trying to defend that crown, and he's done pretty good in speed and style. He advanced pretty far there. Did great, of course, in the Pump Track Challenge, so a good finish here really helps his cause.
It's great to see a former full-course world champion. Obviously, that event doesn't really happen anymore. Now he's got a whole new role coming to these World Crankworx stops. It's unbelievable to see him just kind of further his career, diversify his riding skills. Let's bring him home. I mean, he needs some points here, but is he in touch?
Well, 2:06 and counting, 2:12.53. That's the time that he is looking to see if he can beat. And here he comes, Thomas Slavic from the Czech Republic. He's going to get into second place. 2.26 off the top time, a 2:14.79 for Slavic. That's a good finish right there, no matter where he ends up with just a few more guys to go. Top 5 would be sick.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. It's a BMX background. He's deciding that the only way to keep his bike near to the top of the landing when he comes over is to kind of tire tap. It's a really good technique, but it is a difficult technique to master. It's way easier to try stay low, but then you risk going too far down the downslope.
Well, having him in second place with a 2:14.79, that's what I was talking about. You and I were talking about 1 and 2. There was room in there, and see what Slavic did. He just kind of nestled himself right between 1 and 2 and takes over the second spot. Here comes the Bulldog now.
Oh, the Bulldog. If he can put one together, he's such a strong rider. He can hold good momentum. If he's here for fun, who knows? But maybe we're going to see a good run out of him.
Oh, that's a good point. It depends. Is he here to win it, or is he here just having some fun?
Look, these guys, as much as they say, oh, I'm here for fun, when you get under the timing and you're at the top, you know you're just going to give it your all. You don't want to get embarrassed out here in front of your home crowd.
Well, 3 seconds off the top time from Matt Walker right now, so that's going to be tough to try and bring that one back.
Yeah, Matt Walker's bottom minute, like we said, Richie had an amazing one, but Matt Walker just stomped the bottom minute. But Brooke McDonald's not going to give up. Like we said, he's going to put his whole heart and soul into this run. He's going to pedal. He's going to use it for fitness for the other events coming later in the year.
And being this is, you know, the first stop, this first major competition, this is how you can get your practice in, you get your competition in, kind of gauge yourself against a lot of the other riders, right?
Yeah, it's all reps. You just want to get under the clock before you go into the season. So it's one thing training at home, but it's just such a different ball game when you're there and you hear the beeps at the top. It's just like a mental shift.
Yeah, because you can do all the workouts you want possible back at home, but when you get out here and you actually go head-to-head against people, that's when it all matters. So here we go, 2:12.53 time to beat. He's going to check in top 20, 2:17.95, 5.4 off the top time of Mr. Matt Walker, a fellow countryman.
Yeah, Brad, it's really crucial that you don't tap your brakes in the wrong area. If you happen to tap your brakes in the berm, in the apex of a berm, you lose quite a lot of momentum coming out. So it's super important. Even if you slow down a bit much, you've got to do it before the turn and not in the turn.
Let's see if we get, I mean, Matt Walker, no one's really been challenging him too hard. We saw Slavic challenge him a little bit. Let's take a look at Walker. Why is he so fast? And it's got to be line choice. That's what you were saying, Needles, right?
Yeah. We saw in these 2 turns, he's gone inside and then inside again. He's actually finding more traction in the looser dirt because it's actually not as slick as that blue groove. And what he's done is, even though he's holding good momentum, he's done the shorter part of the track. So he's gaining time that way.
Well, I'll tell you what, when that line choice equals 2:12.53, I'm no mathematician, but that means that shows just how fast he is.
Again, he held it tight, but he's keeping enough momentum for that next jump. So he's kind of riding the shorter track in places, and that's why he's come out on top.
And I like what you said about, you know, look, you stay low over the tables, but you still got to land high up on the transition because that equals speed, right?
Yeah, there's 2 ways to look at it. If it's a big berm and you've got a long straight, you've got to go wide and super big momentum. If it's like a tight turn, okay, let's take it back to Bernard. We've got live footage here already.
Bernard Kerr, Great Britain Pivot Factory racing man right here.
Yeah.
So he's hired someone to do some of the work for him, so he doesn't have to focus all the time.
Him and Pivot have put a plan in place to bring on a manager for when he goes overseas for the 6 months. I think it's great. I think he did an amazing job on his own, but this gives him time to train more and focus on his racing.
Hey, this won't be too bad.
No, it's good. He held it tight over that tabletop. He's a fit guy. He might be able to bring some of this back down the bottom minute of this course.
He wasn't too far off. 1.3 something right there.
And there's where there was the different line to Matt Walker.
Yeah.
Bernard's decided to go high up in the burn and try carry momentum that way. Matt's decided he knows this track. He lives nearby. He's going to go tight.
Look at Kura. All focus right now. 143 and counting. Trying to beat a 2:12.53 for the #1 spot. A 2:14.79 per second.
Yeah, another different line there. Matt Walker jumped the jump. Decided to get some momentum on the downslope. Bernard's gone for the tighter line. Less track to cover.
You can see him trying to pump when he gets on those transitions.
Yeah, definitely. When you're not pedaling, you need to be pumping or tucking.
A little hang time on that. I don't think he's going to take Matt Walker out in this time, but we'll see here when he comes into view. Matt Walker watching intensely. Here comes Kerr right now. Bernard Kerr, he crosses. The time for him, 2:15.32, fourth place, top 5 for the former King of Crankworx from 2015, Bernard Kerr. Only one to go. Will Matt Walker take the gold out here today? This is how it's shaping up. Take a look at this right here.
That's all right.
Matt Walker could just watch now. 2:12.53. Slavic 2.2 behind him. Richie Rude 2.5 behind him. So there is some room in there, isn't there?
There's definitely some room in there. We've only got one rider to go. Can he back up that Whistler win at the Air DH there?
What a big was that was the biggest Crankworx for. You're talking about Bass van Steenbergen. You're talking about Bass and what an amazing year he had, or what an amazing stop he had in Whistler last year in 2016. There's our dates for you. Crankworx Rotorua, that's what we're doing out here. It's 2018. We'll be back March 17th through the 25th. So if you have not made your plans, there you go. We've given you a year to prepare for it, right?
There is no excuse to miss all this amazing action. Oh, there must be agony for Matt Walker. He's sitting in that hot seat. I have been in that situation before.
Yeah.
You don't want to hope for the worst for your competitors, but obviously you just want to win, man.
Well, you don't want him to crash, but you'd like him to have a slower run than you.
Most certainly.
I mean, let's just be honest on that one.
Let's be honest. There's no beating around the bush here. He wants to win. He obviously wants to win clean, but a win's a win.
A win is a win. And Bass van Steenbergen, a guy who can definitely challenge him when it comes down to it. But then you got to think to yourself, Matt Walker, he knows this place. He knows this course. He's done good here before. So maybe that might be tough for Bass to be able to take him down. 2:12.53. That's what Bass has to beat here. Our final competitor.
Bass has got to be hard out the gate here. Matt Walker's got some serious power, but Bass is no slouch, clearly, from winning last year in Whistler. We need to see if he can back it up here. He's coming hard out of these turns, holding it quite right, hard on the pedals. Let's see what lines he takes here compared to Matt Walker. Does he hold it tight? Yes.
Hey, this looks
that is a very good local line right there.
Oh, yes, 0.22.
He's so in touch here. That is basically a dead heat.
Bass van Steenbergen right now trying to beat a 2:12.53. Our final competitor to go here in our final broadcast of Crankworx Rotorua 2017. Can he do it? 2:12.53. Can he beat Matt Walker?
As we said, if anything can do it, it's this man right here. He's got the experience. He's notched up some wins on the international stage. So hopefully the pressure doesn't get to him. He's riding a very clean race, and that's what you need to do on this type of track. No mistakes. You cannot afford any.
Nice and low there, landing high in the transition, but keeping low over the tables, keeping that speed going.
Yeah, hard on the pedals. He's going to pump out of this wooden downslope. Hopefully get some sort of momentum out of these tabletops. Hard pedal here. We're going to see him pop out of this forest. Let's make some noise for him. We could have a new leader here.
Bass van Steenbergen, look at this. 2:12, 2:13. He's not going to take the top time, but he's going to come across with a 2:14.91. Third place for Bass. That means Matt Walker is going to come away with the gold with a 2:12.53. Slavic on another podium. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. A 2:14.79 for Slavic, and Bass van Steenbergen taking the bronze with a 2:14.91. And let's send things downstairs. Hannah Bernard standing by. Hannah, mayhem, right?
Wow, Matt, you've been sitting here for a long time in the hot seat, but we've been talking about how paramount line choice was here today in this competition. Do you think it was that local advantage that has allowed you to walk away with the gold?
Yeah, me and Bass were actually doing runs yesterday together, just trying out different lines. So I was like real nervous because I knew he was riding real quick on this track, and yeah, just I think those made the difference a little bit. Just try to carry speed, put heaps of pedals in where I could, and carry the speed. Yeah.
Well, last year you left Crankworx Rotorua in first in the King of Crankworx race. This year you're also going to be in first coming out of Crankworx Rotorua, but last year an injury kept you out of France. Are you really hungry for that King of Crankworx title here this year in 2017?
Yeah, last year was a pretty bad season with injuries back to back, and I had multiple surgeries, pins, plates, the whole works, and yeah, I think it's just going to be focused towards this season. Yeah, I'm just really going to push it and see how it goes. Take one race at a time, and yeah, give it heaps.
All right, Matt, you are a local boy. Give some love to the crowd here today. What do you want them to know about this competition here today?
Yeah, Crankworx Rotorua is probably one of my favourite events of the whole international calendar. The vibes, the whole event, culture, everything. It's pretty amazing, and yeah, just would like to say thanks for everyone coming out and putting it on. It's been amazing.
Oh, man, that was good. Matt Walker breaking it down for you, 2:12.53, and he comes away with the win, Needles.
What a story to end our Crankworx here in Rotorua. Like I said, I don't want to go home, but it couldn't have ended on a better note. Homeboy,
well,
Matt Walker.
Needles, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Have you ever heard that saying? No, I'm just kidding around. Matt Walker, 2:12.53, number 1 dude. Thomas Slavic, silver medal for that guy. Bass Van Steenbergen, he comes away with the bronze. Well, we'll be more to wrap things up. Stay with us. Your Air DH, it's in the books. But don't be sad. We'll talk more. We'll come right back. Stay with us.
I'm the baddest mother up in here, and I'm about to make it clear. It's going down like I told you. I'm the baddest mother up in here. I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you. I'll have you begging for mercy, begging for mercy. Oh, I'm dangerous.
Crankworx World Tour, stop number 1, drawing to the close here in Rotorua. Brad J and Andrew Needlings with the call out here too. King of Crankworx, man, let's kind of talk a little bit about that. Now that the dust has settled, who's where and who has the best shot at it? Matt Walker, look at that, 80 points over Adrian Lerone.
Yeah, replay of last year. It's really nice to see him in that position again. He's worked hard at it. But that's not a big gap. We've got so many more rounds, a lot of events, a lot of points.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like how you bring that. Speaking of next rounds, it is a 4-stop World Tour now for Crankworx. Where in the past it's been 3 for the last few years, but we're having so much fun. Leger is coming up next, and you like this place, right?
I really do. I mean, it's got a rich pedigree of hosting races, hosting events, so to take a Crankworx stop there is amazing. We had it there last year, very rain-soaked, but there was some amazing action.
Well, you talked about being very rain-soaked. It was so muddy, it took you, what, an hour to clean your bike after the downhill?
Yeah, I've tried to forget that downhill race. It
oh,
was
great that I brought it up.
Amazing but crazy experience.
All right, well, what did you think? Final thoughts about today's action here for your Air DH?
Yeah, we had schedule changes, but we literally couldn't have asked for a better ending to this amazing Crankworx Rotorua event. Super exciting with Matt Walker taking home the win in front of a home crowd. We can all go home. Really, really happy with what an amazing week we had.
Well, I'm very happy with what Matt Walker has done because, you know what, last year, you remember, he was in that position, the lead for the King of Crankworx. This year, he's in that same position. So if everything can go right for Matt Walker, who knows? Maybe he can be celebrating as King of Crankworx when we get out in August back to Whistler. Well, that is going to do it from all of us here. Crankworx Rotorua, all done with our broadcast. Thanks for being part of it. For all the people at home tuning in, thank you for joining us on that one. For everything regarding Crankworx, always go to crankworx.com and make sure you keep up to date with all the latest and greatest activities happening with Crankworx. On behalf of our entire Crankworx crew, everybody out in the truck, got to give it up for Hannah Bernard, Cam McCall, Pat Parnell as well, and of course you, Andrew Needling. Thank you so much. So good to work with you, the legend of downhill. I'm Brad J. Thanks for being part of another amazing event, Crankworx World Tour. 3 more stops to go this year. Goodbye from Rotorua, New Zealand. See ya.